Hey everyone, and welcome back to Sounds of Her Love. In the last episode, a lot of stuff actually happened. Uh, the dinner date with Carrie blew up in our faces because her mom called dysfunctional family. We got a crotch shot. And, yeah. I also screwed up on the intro. I forgot to cut out the 3, 2, 1. So if you want to go see me embarrass myself, go in the last episode. But if not, let's just jump right back into the story. The street is quiet. It usually is around this. It is. Let's start off this video with a screw up. It usually is around this time. I left just before the rush hour, and recently I have found myself trying to get to school a lot earlier than before. Maybe there's a reason for that. That reason, though, isn't there when I reach the end of the street. There's the place. This is the place where Carrie and I first met, and the place where we agreed meeting on each other from now on. Carrie, though, isn't here. Granted, I did leave earlier just so I could be here before her. If I wait around a bit, I should be greeted. I should be greeted to the cute sight of her being shocked to see me. Leaning back against the wall, I rub my brows as I take the time to think about the situation between us. On Saturday, I was privy to her life behind closed doors. Having to be involved in a dispute between parents, what with the additional sense of loneliness, thinking about it really makes me sad that she has gone through so much. Bullying, a divorce, seclusion, all of that, and then there's me. I take a look back at my watch, its reflection in the sunlight almost blinding me as I squint to make out the numbers. Time has gone by fast, with the dial telling me that it's been about quarter of an hour since when I first supposed to meet each other. Thoughts fly through my head as I ponder over why she could be so late, but if I wait any longer then I won't be able to make it to school on time. If she were to turn up after I left, well, it hurt me. Leaving Carrie behind is something I don't want to do, but I can't afford to be late either. Carrie is probably ill. That's the most likely scenario. I decide to carry on forward, taking myself further down the series of streets towards the school. Bro, you have a cell phone. Text her. Not that hard. A state close to silence soon becomes infused with the sounds of students bustling through the school gates just to begin their day, just like me. Unlike them, I have someone in particular on my mind right now. These people weren't there for Carrie when she needed it. All they did was ignore her, casting her away. It's sad that people can't. It's sad that people can judge you based on how they see you rather than what's inside. Carrie herself, wherever she may be, has had a hard time. I keep telling myself over and over, repeating it if as if it's the timetables I learned back in elementary. Carrie must be ill. Could there really be another reason for her absence? Nevertheless, she seems like the type of person that would give me a call to let me know, tell me, whoa, give me a call to let me know she would not be in. She hasn't done that. Another cause for worry. I push forward into the school grounds. It's weird to think that this is the only seventh time I've come to school alone. The rest of the time was with her. Arriving in class just short of the bell, I sit down at my desk as usual. The best thing I can do now is go about my day as normally as I would. But I don't think I'll be able to dissipate the thoughts of Carrie. Hey Phoenix, you do know what lesson we have first thing? A classmate stands before my desk. I'm pretty sure this is the guy from before who was really keen on sandwiches they sell here. I think it's biology. Alright, thanks man. He leaves my desk just as quick as he came, giving me with a sense of sickness now that I realize I'll have to put up with this lesson for a while. I'm not particularly fond of my biology teacher either, but I have more important things to focus on right now. All I can do is try and get through this. Lunchtime arrives, the bell doing more than signaling that. It shows that I've got nobody to eat with. I doubt Carrie has or will show up today. Rising from my seat, pain shoot through my back as I strain it. I've been slumped over my chair all morning. I'm lucky enough for me. I haven't got asked any questions by my biology teacher. As I approach the door to the classroom, part of me hopes to find Carrie there waiting for me. The entire set topped off with the cute blush, her silky golden braids lying loosely over her shoulders. More importantly, her adorable smile. Even though I've only just gone just over a day without seeing her, it's still an issue. Obsession is setting in, and our main character is he totally obsesses over Carrie. That is not healthy, people. Despite all this, there's no sign of Carrie as I leave the classroom to make a beeline to the cafeteria. Maybe that 100% Welsh beef, can give me the energy to make it through the rest of the day. Man, I even feel like this is depressing reading it right now. Taking my place in the line at the cafeteria, one of which surprisingly short, I idle around waiting for my turn to order. Coming here still gives me thoughts of Carrie. It's where we really got to know each other, not necessarily where everything started. It's because I decided to speak to her on a whim that we've managed to get this far. That was only a week ago. Thinking about it makes me happy at what we've achieved over the past 7 days, yet it eventually trails back to the thought of Carrie's issues. Soon enough, the line up to the cold food section shortens again and again as we inch forward. One after the other, people grab their food, and I leave to eat something I would have been doing with Carrie if she was here. I decided to grab a sandwich, quickly enough to get the last beef one, leaving me to find a place to sit in the cafeteria. The real problem is that I have nobody to eat with, kinda like how Carrie was. I wonder if she would have approached me if our situations were reversed. With her personality, I couldn't expect much. Even though she is a kind person, she wouldn't have had the audacity to approach someone she had only met that morning. I decided the best thing to do was just go back to class. I can probably find someone to talk to there. The corridor is empty as I walk back towards my classroom to eat lunch. Most people now would either be in their class or in the cafeteria, so it's rare to see any students walking about this time. Making my way past one of the classrooms, I notice the door open behind me as someone calls out. Hey, wait, you're Phoenix, right? I stop in my tracks and turn around to find one of our year's form teachers calling out to me. I think he's in charge of Carrie's class. Yes, I am, sir. Sorry for stopping you. I was wondering if you would know the reason why Caradwin? Oh, her name's Caradwin. Is absent today. We haven't received a call from her parents, so I thought you might know where she is. You have been hanging around with her lately, that is. No, I don't, sir. Sorry. Has this guy been watching me and Carrie? I guess it's kinda his job as a teacher to track pupils' progress. It's quite notable that one of the most introverted students suddenly made a friend, though it still aggravates me that he's looking into our business. Okay, no worries. We'll give her parents a call later if we don't receive any word from them. I'm not sure if this guy knows about the relationship between Carrie's parents. He heads back into the classroom, leaving me to myself in the corridor. The thought of giving Carrie a call crosses my mind as I make my way back to my classroom. About goddamn time you think of that. So we just... Bruh. Cool air, the sounds of cars, and the presence of the local populace going about their daily life surround me. Walking home from school has always been like this, just time to think while I rush to get back so I can get about my own life. It makes me wonder whether things would be different if Carrie had come to school today. We did agree to walk to school together, but neither of us said anything about walking home together. I'm not sure why we hadn't. Being able to support Carrie is something I want to do. After what her teacher had told me, I really don't think she's ill. Surely her father would have informed the school. They're never too keen on pupils missing lessons. I've had the experience of being berated for it before. Putting my hand in my pocket, my fingers naturally rest around my phone as I release it. Whoa. My fingers naturally rest around my phone as I realize I had it with me. How do you not realize you had your phone on you? I did decide on giving Carrie a call, though I'd rather wait until I'm at home before doing so. Something inside me knows things we'll discuss won't be the same as the trivial things we both embraced before. Step by step, I trace back my usual path down my street to and from school, quickly arriving home and making my own way indoors. Inside, instead of the usual sounds of my father's boasting and my mother's retorts, I find my sister sitting down and playing on her phone. It's something she would usually do. Why she's doing it downstairs is not in her room, I'm unsure. Oh, you're back. Yeah, I am. Did you get let out early or something? No, I'm just a faster walker than you. She always has that way of to be cheeky. Where's Mom and Dad? Oh, they went out. They said they'd bring back something for dinner. Okay. I take off my shoes at the hall when I get the idea to talk about Carrie with my sister. She might be able to give me a girl's perspective on it all. At least I hope. Hey, sis. Is there any reason as to why a girl might not come to school despite not being ill? My sister turns her head and smirks at me, almost to mock me for knowingly asking something which would make me indebted to her. Oh, did a girl you like take the day off? Very funny. Are you going to give me a serious answer? After raising my voice, my sister responds by giving me a solemn expression. I didn't mean to get loud, but right now I have more things on my mind than her jokes. Well, I wouldn't go if I didn't feel like it. That is, if I was depressed. Thank you. I'm sorry for shouting. By getting angry, I created a sense of awkwardness between us. Doing so resulted in getting an answer from her anyways, one of which isn't unreasonable given Carrie's situation. All I can do now is hope she's willing to answer my call. It's okay. Resuming with whatever she was doing, my sister takes hold of her phone, leaving me part ways with her to head upstairs. I'm getting flashbacks to Doki Doki when we found Sayori dead. But I know this won't fuck with us like this. Before me is my room, all too common, as always, all too messy. Looking around, I realize this will be a stage upon which I begin my act to be there for Carrie, a girl who has grown on me so much over a course of mere 7 days. The sounds of cars resonate through the open window, causing me to look outside and stare back at a melancholic expression. Is that really what I look like? The image is beyond me as I continue to listen to the melodic rhythm of people within the city going about their lives. Here I am, hesitant to call someone who means so much to me, someone who changed me. I was under the assumption that after meeting Carrie, I was able to bring her out of her shell. She told me otherwise, but I find myself thinking about how much she has done for me, how much we've been there for each other, neither of us even realizing it. The pounding in my heart acts as a timer, urging me on as I clasp the phone in my hands. All I have to do now is press the button. A pang of nervousness causes me to sweat as my breathing sharpens, unsettling my mind as I continue waiting for her. Oh my god, I can't talk tonight. As I continue waiting to get this issue resolved. With an unsteady hand, I take the move to press call. Now it's up to her to answer. The phone rings slightly longer than I would expect it to if Carrie really felt like talking. I can only assume that she's at home, not at home. If her phone was anywhere near her, she would have gotten the answer by now. The ringing stops abruptly, causing me to feel a sense of relief, which is soon washed away when someone other than Carrie answers the phone. Hello? Who might this be? On the other end of the line is Carrie's father. I don't know how many parents who would answer their child's phone, but at least I can do is ask him about Carrie. This is Phoenix. Ah, that's right. You were over here the other day, weren't you? I'm sorry about what happened. I don't usually get so worked up, but there's a lot of things going on right now. All I can do is apologize for making you witness it all. I can understand. How is Carrie doing? She wasn't in school today. I thought you might be calling about that. You're a good lad, you know. I've only met this guy once and he's calling me a good lad. On the other hand, getting on his good side isn't a bad thing in any shape or form. Carrie's in her room at the moment. She hasn't been down in a while. That's concerning. She locked herself in her room. I think it's because she's upset about the relationship between me and my wife. Wouldn't it be your ex-wife? She cheated on you. Well, she won't be my wife for much longer. Okay, it's a complicated story. Did Carrie ever mention it to you? Not in any detail. She just told me to forget about her mother after Saturday. I think you deserve to know. I'll explain what Carrie's feeling. I don't think I'm in a position to be this involved with her family issues. Really, it's odd to think he would be willing to tell me this. Listening now, though, it might take it easier to understand what Carrie is feeling. And if I want to help her, it's something I must know. Currently, we're going through a divorce. No shit. But that should be more than apparent. Exactly. After we moved to Japan, things started to get rocky between us. My wife decided to go on holiday back to Wales, though her real intention was to get back with her ex-husband. I eventually caught wind of it after one of my friends spotted them together. She stayed there, but at the same time filed for a divorce. It's a complicated process when you're dealing with two countries. I was told yesterday that she also filed for custody of Carrie. Does that mean Carrie would also return to Wales? Yes. She's been upset since she doesn't want to leave. I think she has too much here that she would lose if she went back. It's not just me who she'd be away from. The reality is too hard to comprehend. A sheepish girl faced with another challenge in her life, having to leave behind her father and her friend in order to go back to live with a mother she has no fondness for. I knew from the beginning that I wouldn't be able to do anything. Being there for Carrie still won't change the outcome, though I won't resist doing it. Right now, she needs someone to be there for her, even if I end up hurting both of us. If you want to speak to Carrie yourself, you're welcome to come over anytime. But I'm not sure how receptive she'll be about it. It feels wrong if I didn't at least try to get my voice through to her. Even if she turns me away, I just want her to know that I'm here for her. I know that, despite the pain, the people most important to her will give back everything in return. That we care for her, that I care for her. Do you think I'll be able to come over today? I don't see why that would be a problem, though, like I said, I'm not sure how Carrie will react. Her reaction right now isn't really a staple. All that matters to me is how she is feeling, which I know is far from good. I want to reach out to her. Alright, I'll be over shortly. Goodbye. In a rush, I hang up on Mr. Irwood without giving him a chance to respond. Wasting time isn't an option. I need to get there as soon as possible. Heading downstairs, my footsteps resonate throughout the house, causing my sister to give me a bewildered look. Luckily enough, she doesn't give me an issue and goes back to using her phone. Passing through the hall, the door opens before me, revealing my parents home from their trip out. I don't have time to make conversation, so I slip past them at the doorway, both of them giving me the same bewildered look as my sister did in the process. Where are you off to, son? I'm going to a girl's house. Upon hearing that, my father contorts his face in surprise, finally leaving me with a proud smile as I set off to make my way down the street. All I should focus on is being there for Carrie, a thought of which drives me as I race my way to her house. Darkness fills the path towards Carrie's house, spare the street lamps which guided my course towards it. A long and winding one, in a methodical sense, that is. This week has provided me with countless ups, but I guess it's time to face the downs. Knowing that Carrie is hurting makes me feel bad myself, something which I've told myself over and over. My emotional attachment to her is a big thought. Thought. Carrie Street is short, so it's easy enough to find her house. It saves me the time looking for it in the darkness of the ever-looming night. The adrenaline within me rushes me further towards the door of her house. It's not necessary, but I feel that controlling these emotions would be a bad thing, on top of the difficulty to do so. It's Carrie's feelings I want to prioritize right now. Getting here as soon as possible helps me do that. My knuckles face the wood of the door repeat. My knuckles face the wood of the door repeatedly as I eagerly wait for an answer. I can see movement from inside. That's Carrie's father as soon as he comes to the door. Good evening, Phoenix. I won't keep you stopped for long. Carrie's room is upstairs and to the right. Yeah, we know. Keeping things brief, Mr. Irwood gives me the directions to Carrie's room despite me already knowing them. I don't know how well it would sit with him if I told him that I've already been up there, so I just thank him anyway. Thank you. Sparing no time, I rush up the stairs as carefully as I can. Wearing socks and trying to race up there would be really regrettable if I were to slip, but very comical too. Though being too cautious also seems like a bad idea as well. The only thing I should be caring about is Carrie. Following the same path I took only days ago, Carrie's bedroom's door stands before me, the gateway to a lonely, downcast girl. Knocking on it gently, my heart continues to pound in my chest as I wait for her response. Nothing. Out of instinct, I grasp the doorknob, but despite my best effort, it won't budge. She must have it locked. I kind of expected it, but it doesn't change the fact that she's locked herself away from the world outside. Even her own father. Slow movements raise my arm once again as I realize what I have to do. For all Carrie's concerned, It could just be her father knocking on the door. Hopefully, hearing me as well can show her how concerned we both are. I tap against the door once more, and I make my call out to her. Carrie, it's me. Hey, it's your boy. A response. A small, yet welcomed one.
What are you doing here?
Her voice is filled with nervousness. Over the time that we've spent together, I've noticed that she's found it easier to speak to me as each day went on. Now, though, she sounds like she did when we first met. I came to talk to you. I want you to come to school tomorrow, Carrie. I abruptly managed to stop myself from adding, I've missed you. No, you could have added that. That would have made her feel better. Let her know you care. Even though it's the absolute truth, spending time without her was difficult, even though that's all I knew before. I know you're not feeling good, but knowing you're like this, it makes me sad. I told you we're friends, right? I want to support you.
I'm sorry. I know. Y- You're important to me.
You don't have to apologize. I just wanted to be there for you.
I'm not sure if I'll feel like going. It's complicated.
Only a thin piece of wood separates us both as I stand in silence. A wall between us, between our feelings. I'm not sure what I should do.
I.
I'll be waiting for you tomorrow, Carrie. Where we normally meet. Good night, Carrie. On a whim, I turned myself away from her. It's a painful thing to do, but actions speak louder than words. Trying to break into her room wouldn't have done either of us any good. If you had a lockpick, that might have been interesting. But telling her I'll wait no matter what, might let her hear my feelings in a different way. I'm not sure if she responded, though she doesn't come out after me. It's an odd thing for me to be so familiarized with her house after only knowing her for for a week. Well, I can't talk tonight at all. But that thought doesn't stick with me on the trip downstairs. So how'd it go? Her father stands in the hallway, showing me that he was waiting for me on the entire time. I don't know. We'll just have to see. They are plain and simple words, yet they hurt me so much. Having this uncertainty between us makes me feel more bitter than anything. It's only. Oh, my neck. It's okay. Carrie is usually quite stubborn. Would you be staying for dinner? I know a meal with a third. I know a meal with a 37-year-old Welsh guy isn't exactly on everyone's bucket list. I like this guy. He's funny. But it would be impolite for me not to offer. Thank you, but my parents brought back something for the family just as I was leaving. I'm sure I'll be quite a ruckus when I get back. It's all right. I hope you enjoy your evening, Phoenix. Thank you for speaking to her. Thank you for speaking to her. It's okay. It was something I wanted to do. I'll be off then. Goodbye. Carrie's father sees me off with a wave as I walk out of the Airwood house. Thinking about it now, his words don't make much sense to me. Describing Carrie as stubborn is definitely a contrast to what I've known her as. In fact, I would describe her as pretty compliant. I guess things are different when you're a parent. Maybe it's just how Carrie acts towards me. At least I hope it is. Hey! The morning sunlight blinds my eyes on the walk towards school, more importantly towards the typical rendezvous point with Carrie. As I get closer and closer, I dote upon dote upon what Carrie means to me, my relationship with her. It's a strange thing to think about, but as time goes on, things will start to make more sense to me. As the usual corner of the street enters my vision, the shy, braided girl isn't there. It would be wrong to say I didn't expect this, but part of me looked forward to seeing her adorable aura shimmer in the sunlight. Looking at my watch, it's still a bit early. Even if it was late, I would still wait for her. Being late to school doesn't concern me now. Cars pass by me one after another as the neighborhood starts to get into motion, everyone on their way to work or to drop off their kids at school. The usual sort of thing for a weekday. Having mine be different yesterday really showed me how much I enjoy the mornings before going to school to be able to see her. Every day of my life before had absence of her, but meeting her really showed me how much of a wonderful person she really is. It's a shame it took a while for her to be able to show it to someone. The clock continues to circle around and around my watch, similar to the thoughts on my mind, constantly moving but never really going anywhere. 7:35 soon passes without any sign of Carrie. When agreeing to meet with her, I would have probably embraced the experience of walking down the road around this time to see her waiting for me with a mild smile on her face. One of which I can only assume would quickly turn to a fluster as she would spot me approaching. None of that has happened though, or will happen. I can't imagine Carrie being that happy to see me. Anxiety grows within me, flowering from one of the most painful places for it to be embedded in thorns, my heart. It's been 5 minutes now since the usual time we agreed to meet, not particularly late by any standard, that is, any standard other than Carrie's. Every time we agreed to meet somewhere, despite it only happening on a few occasions, Carrie was always early or on time. More so prior. Maybe my words didn't reach her after all. Glancing up from my watch one last time, within my vision I see a figure. Despite the morning sunlight hindered my view, it's clear to me it's a girl, walking down the street towards me. As she approaches, I can make out her hair, neatly braided, swaying in the light autumn breeze. Her attire, all too familiar to me, consisting of a tan sweater which embellishes her figure. The harp insignia on her chest is quickly covered by her arms as she adjusts the red ribbon beneath her neck. Blushing lightly as she looks towards me, it's Carrie. The sight brings a smile to my face. It usually would, but this time it means a lot more to me than any of those times ever. But this time means a lot more to me than any of those ever could. I managed to reach out to her. She came. Giggity. Her expression, however, does not match mine. She still carries a troubled expression as she advances further down the street. If one thing is for sure, there's still a lot of work to do before we can make things right. If that's even the right word. I'm about to choke. Okay. All the issues, all the problems that caused the situation are still here. Carrie is still upset.
Good morning.
Morning. Good morning, Carrie. Part of me wants to ask how she's feeling, in spite of knowing the answer. I'm fine, she'll say. That is all. Fine. Fine is a synonym for not good, a quick answer to get people off your case. Carrie knows how concerned I am, but prying into her feelings now would not benefit either of us. Today I want her to feel normal, to experience a day of school like we usually would. Upsetting her by getting into the subject of her parents would just make my efforts all for naught. Instead, I opt to just usher her along with me to begin our day of school. I think we should get going. We're going to be late otherwise.
Okay.
I expected her to apologize for being late, but it doesn't really matter to me. Carrie and I begin our slow walk to school despite having the clock working against us, but we're not in any rush. Dust shimmers in the air sporadically throughout the classroom, giving the day a sense of warmth, and the autumn sunlight shines through the windows. All too much a contrast with the bitter cold of the morning, leaving me with a feeling of unease as the issue with Carrie still lingers around my mind. Having left her not long ago to get to her class, we separated on a sour note, neither of us really saying anything, but our feelings ever so similar. Ones of sadness, sorrow, and general awkwardness. Getting her to come to school was one thing, but for her to open up to me again will be a completely different challenge. If I'm going to make this day work, one way or another, I'll have to force her to talk to me, no matter how inconsiderate that sounds. Moving my body backwards, I stretch the alleviate the pain in my shoulders. Today is going to be long, but I've gotten through the lesson just before thinking about Carrie. Thing is, there's a lot more to think about now, including my feelings. The chimes of the school bell jolt me up from the slumped position of my chair. It's lunchtime. To getting outside as soon as possible is a priority. I want to meet Carrie outside her class for once. Springing up, I grab my bag swiftly, push my items into it in a disorderly manner. These are things I have no time to be concerned about. I managed to be the first one of the people to I managed to be the one of the first people out of the class, but it's expected that those who sit near the front will always have the upper hand. Carrie's class isn't much of a distance away. It seems that their class is still inside. Everyone in our year group is on the same corridor, so it's unsurprising to find myself joining the usual crowds who wait outside the other classes for their friends to come out. One by one, people flock out of the classrooms. The entire event is quite a scene. As it already's been about 5 minutes since the lunch bell rang, just how important was their lesson? In time, the sight of Carrie greets my eyes once again. She'll still hold the same expressionless appearance as she had this morning. It hurts to see. Hey, Carrie, shall we go have lunch together?
Sorry, I need to catch up with some work.
Why you lying?
I'm going to copy a friend.
Uh, bullshit. As soon as I opened my mouth, Carrie seemed to go into a state of shock. Her words sound untruthful, as if she forced out the first excuse she could think of. As depressing as it is, the reality is that I'm the only one she speaks to in the school. She wouldn't have the audacity to copy someone within her class. If she's not ready to speak, that's fine. The entire action itself is going back on what I previously decided upon earlier. Forcing her to speak would probably send her into another state of shock. I'll let her go for now. Alright, Carrie. I turn around, leaving Carrie behind me as I join the students from her class heading towards the cafeteria. Whether Carrie wanted me to object or not, I'm unsure. However, she won't be able to get away from me this easily. Letting our friendship dissipate like this isn't something I won't allow. And we're going to leave it off here. This is starting to get a little too depressing. Let's save it. I'll record this next Saturday and see where we're going with this. What do you guys think? It's kind of too depressing for me to even want to comment on. I feel hurt. I personally feel hurt. Huh. I don't know. I'm sure we can pick things up and spin them around. I hope. I don't want another bad ending. If you're enjoying this, leave a like and share it around House and Girls the channel, and I really appreciate it. Follow me on Twitter and subscribe to get a little insight into my madness, and it makes me feel good. Let's make Phoenix feel good. I almost said my real name there. If you want to know my real name, go watch Doki Doki Literature Club. Monika says it at the end. I can't escape that series. But yeah, this has been Black Phoenix. I'll see you all next time. Thanks for watching.